Number 158 in the Indicator series is Badge 373, starring the always awesome Robert Duvall, and here he plays a cop called Eddie Ryan, who at the start of this is having a sting operation trying to catch a criminal in the acts of dirty dealings within a nightclub. Somebody does a runner, he follows after them, and they happen to fall to their death completely by accident, and he is kind of blamed as somebody who hates immigrants because this person was Hispanic, and he is kind of suspended from the force. And while being suspended, his former partner is murdered on the job, and he deems it his mission to track down all the dirty dealings that's going on here and stop the big bad guy. It's a rather typical 70s cop movie. It does nothing above the ordinary. In fact, this one takes a little bit of time to really keep the story going, actually taking a literal vacation in the middle of the movie, which really derails the film quite a bit. This is one of those movies where Robert Duvall is good, but the movie itself is average, nothing above a kind of typical 70s cop film. But this one, they really try to mix it in with a lot of political musings of the time. You have immigrants into the country who are struggling to deal with coming to this new country, struggling to deal with the fact that they're now regarded as second-class citizens, and this is kind of taught upon us through countless speeches and protests, and these people who are up in arms against what they seem quite rightly as being treated as second-class citizens. Robert Duvall's character just isn't interested. He may have some slight leanings to racism within his own personality, and it's not hidden, it's there on the forefront. He starts a new relationship within the movie. He tries to do the PI detective work. Everything he seems to touch turns to crap as people die at minutes after he's talked to them. It's all leading towards a big bad guy and a shootout at the end of the movie. I like the idea of the movie more than I actually like the movie itself. It's fine. It's not in any way detrimental to that kind of subgenre or timescale of movies that came out way back in the early 70s. It's got a tough, no-nonsense cop whose back's against the wall, who feels he's been alienated by his own department. It has flourishes and touches of thematics that are actually quite interesting, but they're never really delved into too much. We have the idea of this man being a self-destructive cop, always leaning towards the job, struggling to deal with the fact that he may be out of his calling as he sees it, trying to right a wrong for his friend and discovering that maybe he didn't know people as well as he thought he did. Robert Duvall is good. He doesn't do anything exemplary in the movie to make it stand above the crowd. There is some nice additions in the movie as well. We've got Verna Bloom, who is Maureen, who's a really nice love interest for Duvall, but it just kind of shows you the misgivings that he has for his job by neglecting this woman, where he could turn his life around and move on to something more positive. He decides to implode and go towards the negative, and it has a nice chase sequence shootout at the end of it. The movie's got some fun tense sequences, particularly at a scene in a car park early on where he's being shot at by some unseen enemy. It has nice moments, but not enough to really keep this an interesting watch. And in between these fun sequences, there are long moments where nothing really happens and the story doesn't move forward all that fast. I enjoyed Badge 373, but I technically have an affinity for 70s cop movies, and I like the aesthetic, the look, some of the performances and some of the storylines. But ultimately, again, this one didn't quite hit the mark for me. I'd love to know your thoughts on Badge 373. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.